Hello, Facebook Live. Lindsay Price here, resident playwright for Theater Folk, here with a little thing on Facebook Live, right? That's exactly what this is. This is your Facebook Live. We're Theater Folk. I'm talking to you. When we're talking about today, plays. We've got plays. It's a play feature. It's a play feature. It's time to feature a play. Or three. So this week on our Play of the Week on Facebook, we have a left of center, highly stylized piece called No Horse Town. And No Horse Town is one of those plays that students either they love it or they don't get it at all. And it's very a little bit quirky. So I thought that I would share with you three quirky little left of center plays, the descriptions of which, or the links of which are in the description, which is up there. You can click the link and you can read sample pages. We put up about 80% of the play for your viewing pleasure so that you know what you're getting before you buy. I think that's really important. It's not, we have no interest in putting a play in your hand that you're not going to find useful for your students, that you're not going to find useful for productions. It's really important that that what you're putting in your hands is something that you're going to use. So you can read a good chunk before you buy. So the first one, No Horse Town. So No Horse Town is a play that actually came from a real life experience where Craig and I were almost hit by a car trying to cross the street in Tennessee. And it was a place just off the highway where there were lights, but there was no nothing in place for a human being to cross the street. No one was supposed to be a pedestrian. Which I find really annoying because being a pedestrian is something that I quite enjoy. But we barely made it across the light, and cars were so not expecting to see human beings that they just kept coming. So that little experience led to me writing this play called No Horse Town, in which there is a place called Haywood, and Haywood is a special kind of place. It is a place that has no streets. So it's a no car, no horse town, no street town. So if you want to do something dangerous, when you turn 18, you have to go out of town and cross the street. See, told you, it's kind of thing that's a little bit quirky. It's sort of like, what? What are you talking about? It's all right. And it's sort of set up too, because there's that whole notion of, not maybe in this generation, but of other generations, when you get to a certain age, you know, they're going to go off to war, or they're going to go off and do something that's dangerous that they wouldn't be allowed to do at home, so they got to go off and do it. And for the people of Haywood, the guys, they got to cross the street. So, and everybody talks in a very highly stylized way. You get a real sense of place by the way the majority of the characters talk, except for the stranger, who talks normal, and no one else talks normal. And so, you know, you've got characters, and there's like sort of an instant twang that comes into place when these characters talk. So, and they're named Buddy, Jimmy, and Melissa Marie. And already I've got my tang. They say things like, you know, ain't you trying to rush me? So the two characters who are preparing to cross the street are standing center stage, posing dramatically. Jimmy stares intently off stage left. Buddy stares stage right. So, yeah, right. Uh-huh. They both spit. When you gonna do it? Don't know. Soon. Today. You said that yesterday. You trying to rush me? Heck no. I don't want you to do it at all. Percy Williams lost his leg. I ain't gonna lose my leg. You sure? You ain't that fast. Thanks. I can't sugarcoat this for you, Jimmy. If you die, I'm gonna have to tell Melissa Marie. I know. She'll blame me if you die, Jimmy. I won't die. They all say that. So, this is No Horse Town. Very stylized. And this is the thing that the young men of town do when they want to prove that their men is across the street. And then because you need somebody who's sort of reflecting on what on earth all these people are doing and why they're like this, there is a stranger whose car breaks down and walks in, and she's just like, look, it's just not that hard to cross the street. It's a street. There's nothing to it. And I'll show you there's nothing to it. You can spend the rest of your lives with your little local minds remembering how I showed you there was nothing to it. There. See? Nothing to it. Pizza cake. Bye-bye, local people. And of course they don't believe her. Okay, so that's No Horse Town. Awesomely, awesomely quirky. Awesomely stylized. If you want to show your students how to take on characters who speak in a very specific language and whose physicality is dependent on the language that they speak, and that whose characters come from a very specific place, this is a great, great play in terms of, if I say so myself, to really show students about specificity of language and specificity of place and specificity of characters. Hey! Good evening, theater folk. All right. So the next play that I want to talk about, which is a little bit of left of center, a little bit quirky, is The Revolting Cheerleaders by John Donald O'Shea. So this is a world where we have traditional football players and cheerleaders, except here we've got football players who sometimes talk like lawyers, and cheerleaders who are sort of revolutionaries. Maybe not. Revolters is more the proper term. So this is a place where it has always been standard, where the cheerleaders have served a pre-game snack for the players without complaint. The girls have had enough. They're going to sue. They're tired of doing the things that the guys are telling them to do, and they are going to sue the team. So, and we've got this is a little scene with the football players who are talking about what the cheerleaders have chosen to do by stepping outside the bounds of the normalcy. Oh, heaven forbid. So Percy walks in. We have Percy. We have Scott. We have Elvis, of course. Percy, we need to talk to you. And Percy stands up. Why, Elvis says, why are you wearing your helmet? What helmet? The one on your head. Your football helmet? Huh? Geez, I'm sorry. I forgot to take it off after practice yesterday. You wore it to bed? Yeah, I guess I did. Did you shower? Of course I showered. Can't you tell? Why? With your helmet on? I just forgot to take it off. Did you wash your hair? Certainly. How? I'm not quite sure. Percy, something important has come up. We've got to talk to you. Did you guys know that Aaron and Abby, cheerleaders, are planning to sue? Of course we knew. How did you know? Everybody knows. It's all over the school. That's what we need to talk to you about. Well, I'm not sure I can talk about it. Why? Well, as president of the student council, I'll be the judge in the case. Well, that's precisely why we need to talk to you. How else can we fix the case? Look, if I talk to you guys, it would be ex parte communication. It would be grounds to disqualify me and to get a new judge. He may be right. Maybe we shouldn't talk to him. Are you or are you not still a member of the football team? Of course I am. Okay, is there any reason you can't discuss football? Of course not. Or things that affect team morale? No. Okay, then we'll limit our conversation to football and team morale. Aaron and Amy are suing to get back on the cheerleader squad. They contend that it's discrimination to require cheerleaders to feed football players. If they win, it will adversely affect team morale. So you got to do something. Well, what do you want me to do? Cheat! Make sure they lose. But be subtle about it. Nothing obvious. You don't want to appear biased. How? Little things: sustain an objection, slant a jury instruction, continue the case until everyone has graduated. You've got to appear impartial and absolutely fair, even if you're not. I don't know. Look, you asked to be student body president. You asked for our help. Didn't we get you elected? Yeah? Well, now it's time to scratch our backs. Time for a payback. Or, now that you've reached the top of the greasy pole, are you going to forget your friends? Look, if you pull this off after graduation, you can enter national politics. Fool some of the people all the time, and all the people some of the time, you know? Sky's the limit. What about my legacy? Don't worry. We're your friends. We'll take care of your legacy. We'll do your PR. Okay. Percy, what? There's just one thing. What's that? Before you start the trial, don't forget to take off your helmet. It bespeaks a lack of impartiality. Okay, so love this. Again, little left of center, little bit quirky. We've got traditional characters who don't act in a traditional way. Again, a great thing to show your students. When you have characters who are supposed to act in one way, who traditionally act in one way, where there is a stereotype of them, and then you give them language, you give them a storyline that does not put them down a traditional path. So that is the Revolting Cheerleaders. The Cheerleaders Revolt. Lastly, Layers by Gary Rogers. This thing is a onion. This play, it's a layers. It is literally layers. It is not just one play. It is a play within a play within an onion within a cabbage. It's got characters and stories overlap. Cabbages get thrown. At the end, the writer doesn't get the final word. We have a teenage story, which then gets, mixed up with theatrical anthropologists from the 25th century, and then the writer doesn't know the ending. It's just a thing that starts off and it looks normal, and then it is completely not. It is a wonderful challenge, right? If you have students who they're always maybe in their writing in their classroom, everything is very linear, or they're interested in linear stories where things start at point A and they go to point B and they never take a left turn. Layers is the kind of play that takes left turns about every 4 seconds. So it is a great piece to show students what that looks like to have a play take a left turn. And I am missing my piece of Post-it note, so you're just going to have to trust me. Trust me, it's a fabulous play. And everything is hunky-dory. So there's 3 plays. We have Layers, we have Revolting Cheerleaders, and we have No Horse Town. Little gems of left of centerness, plays that don't go down the traditional path with their characters, with the way the characters speak, with their language, and with the way that stories plots progress. It's really important sometimes to look to things that aren't always what they seem. And it's fun having plays like this in our catalog where they're a little different and they offer the opportunity for you to do something a little different. Awesome. All right, I'll be back on Friday with our weekly giveaway. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.